This might be an unpopular opinion, but the way I see it is that you don't always need to be focusing on making your English sound more advanced or working on acquiring a superior vocabulary, especially when it comes to speaking English. Sometimes using slang is a much more effective, relatable, friendly and relaxed way to engage in conversations. Formal English, on the other hand, can sometimes sound a little bit stiff and uptight. And while that might be useful in some settings, when you're trying to build connections and relationships, slang comes into its own, which means it comes in really useful. Learning English slang can be really useful for improving communication, integrating socially, connecting with people. Plus, it can be incredibly expressive. Today, I'm going to share some slang with you that will help you to express your feelings in an informal, relatable way. But first, a quick introduction. I'm Jo, and I work with people who want to improve their confidence in speaking English as a second plus language. I focus on helping people develop and practice their English conversation skills so that they can feel more comfortable speaking English. As well as working with learners in one-to-one private classes, I also create content here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and TikTok and on my website, where I create 2 to 3 English lessons every week. You can go and check them out. I'll put the link below. So, like I said before, today we're going to look at some English slang words for talking about how you feel. Now, these words are really useful when it comes to everyday conversations. Before I forget, you can download the PDF notes on today's lesson via my website, and again, I'll put the link below. Okay, let's get started. The first expression is for when you're really anxious, usually about something specific, and it's I'm a nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck before my job interview last week. I get my exam results this Friday. I'm a complete nervous wreck. The next one is scared stiff. When you say you're scared stiff, it's a way of saying that you're terrified about something. I was scared stiff when I saw that there was a huge spider in the corner of the room. When you're scared stiff by something, you're almost so scared that you can't move. You're frozen. You're stiff. The next one is similar, but maybe not as extreme. To be freaked out by something. If you're freaked out by something, it's you're surprised or shocked by something, and it unsettles you or unnerves you. I was really freaked out by that film, meaning it made me feel uncomfortable and spooked. The next slang word that we're going to look at is knackered. You might have heard this before. It's a really popular one. When you're really tired, you can say that you're knackered. I'm completely knackered, meaning I'm really exhausted or totally shattered. Alternatively, you could say wiped out. After running the marathon, I was completely wiped out. I just wanted to collapse in a heap on the floor. So that covers physical exhaustion, but what about mental exhaustion? Maybe you've been working really, really hard on a document or studying for hours. Then you could use the word zonked. When I say that I'm zonked, it usually means that I've been concentrating on something for a long time and my brain is no longer functioning properly. I'm zonked. The next word is a really good one for talking about disappointment. I'm gutted. When you're gutted, you're really, really disappointed about something. I was totally gutted when I didn't get the promotion. Okay, so imagine somebody forgets your birthday. Maybe you're not furious, you're not really angry, but perhaps you feel a little bit miffed. When you feel miffed, you feel slightly disgruntled or maybe a little bit offended. Nothing serious though. So miffed is useful for minor annoyances, But what about if something is seriously annoying? Well, you could say that you're pissed off. I was really pissed off when I found out my flight had been cancelled. Pissed off is a stronger way to say that you're angry about something. What about a slang word for when you're really surprised, stunned, or left speechless even by something? Well, you could say I'm gobsmacked, or I was gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked when I realised I'd won the lottery. I was gobsmacked when my grandmother told me she had a 20-year-old lover. You get the idea. You might have heard the slang word dodgy be used to describe a situation or a person. He looked a bit dodgy, as in he looked a bit suspicious, or the bar seemed a bit dodgy, as in the environment or the atmosphere seemed a bit strange. But you can also use dodgy as a feeling. So if you say you feel a bit dodgy, it means that you feel a bit unwell. And when we say dodgy, we're often referring to feeling unwell with our stomach. My stomach's a bit dodgy. The next slang expression is used for when you feel indifferent about something. You can say, I'm not fussed. Maybe somebody will say, where do you fancy going for dinner? And you could say, I'm not fussed, meaning that you haven't really got any strong preference. When you say not fussed, it does really give the impression that you don't really care about something. So be careful how you use this one. In a similar vein, when you're feeling rather lazy, you could say, I can't be asked. And when you say you can't be asked to do something, it means you can't be bothered to do something. Oh, I can't be asked to cook tonight. I'm going to order takeout. I recommend that you avoid using can't be asked in the workplace. It sounds kind of lazy. It doesn't give a good impression. Next up is one for when you're really, really hungry. You could say, I'm starving. Obviously, you're not literally starving. You're just really hungry. Sometimes when my daughter gets home from school or my son gets back from the gym, they'll open the fridge and say, oh, what is there to eat? I'm starving. Also related to food is this one for when you've eaten too much. If you've overeaten and you feel very, very full, you could say, I'm stuffed. Stuffed is definitely best reserved for informal settings. If you've been to a very sort of posh restaurant and you sat at the table and said, oh, I'm stuffed, it would probably come across as quite rude. So what about when you're really thirsty? Well, when you're thirsty, you could say, I'm gasping, or I'm gasping for something in particular. I'm gasping for a cup of tea. I'm gasping for a pint. I'm gasping for a glass of wine. The next word isn't a slang word in itself, but it can be used as a slang word, and it's obsessed. When obsessed is used as a slang expression, it means that you're really, really enthusiastic or keen on something. It's used a lot by social media influencers. Maybe they'll have a new makeup product or something and they'll say obsessed. It means that they can't stop thinking about something. Do you know what it means to be chuffed about something? If you're chuffed or chuffed to bits about something, it means you're really pleased. My student got a 7.5 in our IELTS exam. She was really chuffed. The final expression today is I'm done with something. When you're done with something, it means that you're fed up with something or you've had enough with something and you don't want to do it anymore. I'm done with this relationship. I'm done with this job. I'm done with working 12 hours a day, etc. I hope you found that useful. If you did, I'd be really chuffed if you give it a thumbs up, or even more chuffed if you subscribe. There are new English lessons on this channel every Sunday, and then there's a mid-weekly vlog which gives you some English listening practice. Take care for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.